Hello.
Think we can start now. Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to the Reflections on the 12 Steps. Um, sorry, I'm Kathy. Welcome. Just a friendly announcement. This is not an AA meeting. This is just one member's view on the exact nature of the wrong. It's described on page 64 of the big book and the solutions contained within. This is not an all share meeting, though shares there will be, but actually a question and answer meeting with Paul. So I thought I would read like the instructions on step 5 and then steps 6 and 7. So page 75 and 76. So starting at the second paragraph on page 75 in the big book, it says, "We pocket our pride and go to it, illuminating every twist of character, every dark cranny of the past. Once we have taken this step, withholding nothing, we are delighted. We can look the world in the eye. We can be alone at perfect peace and ease. Our fears fall from us. We begin to feel the nearness of our Creator. We may have had certain spiritual beliefs, but now we begin to have a spiritual experience. The feeling that the drink problem has disappeared will often come strongly. We feel we are on the broad highway, walking hand in hand with the spirit of the universe. Returning home, we find a place where we can be quiet for an hour, carefully reviewing what we have done. We thank God from the bottom of our heart that we know Him better. Taking this book down from our shelf, we turn to the page which contains the 12 steps. Carefully reading the first 5 proposals, we ask if we have omitted anything, for we are building an arch through which we shall walk, a free man at last. Is our work solid so far? Are the stones properly in place? Have we skimped on the cement put into the foundation? Have we tried to make mortar without sand? If we can answer to our satisfaction, then we look at step 6. We have emphasized willingness as being indispensable. Are we now ready to let God remove from us all the things which we have admitted are objectionable? Can He now take them all, every one? If we still cling to something we will not let go, we ask God to help us be willing. When ready, we say something like this: My Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Amen. We have then completed step 7. I thought I'd stop there.
All right, great. Well, welcome everybody. If you're new to this meeting, it's a group of people. I would say most of us are in recovery or recovering from something. And the platform of the meeting is a description of the exact nature of the wrong, which is on page 64 in the big book, and an interpretation of it as seeing what has defeated us, being called self, is foreign to us. It's not of our nature. It is a foreign addition, let's say. So in the beginning, most people maybe can entertain the idea that you are under the condition of a disease. And this disease is tricky because it talks to you and tells you you don't have a disease. Uh, most diseases don't. Most diseases don't have the megaphone, but this one does. And so that is the platform. And then from there, looking at it from there, we look at the steps and maybe see things in a different light. Yeah. not changing the steps, but seeing things in a different light. So right now, we're in the process of doing the action steps in this. We have written our inventory. We've shared it with somebody. Uh, Lots revealed. Hopefully, usually the first inflection that's brought about by the inventory is to see your role in things. Obviously, someone who's at a bar right now does the first two steps of an inventory in his head or her head. They know they're mad at somebody and why, and that just leads to another drink. This process is to add two more columns and see our role in things. So the purpose really is to finally be able to see our role in things in our own life, because most of our attention has been to others, and that attention has allowed others to be able to have a huge effect on us. Yeah. And so we do that. And that, in my own observation, when I was young, I had an inordinate sense of responsibility. If I walked in a room and someone yawned, I thought it was because I came into the room. Yeah. And I have a very great example of it because it's stuck with me for a long time, which is when my father got ill when I was around 6, and it was going to affect him and his life and therefore affect me. My mom and the family doctor, Dr. Jan Quinto, sat me down and tried to explain to me what was going to be happening, which is not as much going to the park with my father or stuff like that, and break the news to me because they knew what was ahead. I didn't. It was a little kid. So I listened to them and I understood it. But what I felt was, what did I do to cause my father not to want to play with me? That's a sense of outsized responsibility. Yes. So I think many of us suffered from this excessive sense of responsibility, and we wanted relief from that. And many of us here followed one path of relief, which was drinking and then drinking and using and stuff like that, to the point where we became blind to our role in things. And we emphasized everyone else's role in things. And they describe it quite well in the previous pages that in this condition, people, a seeming or a real slight can kill us, so to speak. Yes. So we have gone from maybe trying to find a balance in what we're responsible for or not to an extreme irresponsibility. And then we come into AA and we have to become responsible. And I remember when I did the first fourth step, I was very young in there. I did not see the connection between the first step of the first column and the fourth column. It missed me. So I was like, I'm pissed at Wendy. She left me. And then I just stopped at being pissed at Wendy. I didn't see what I had done or was doing that may have caused her to leave me. So I did the inventory the way it's put out, looking for my role in things. I saw it. Yeah, it was incredible. And it was like that sentence became alive that's in the book, which is, you know, it looks like people are going to hurt us without any provocation, but we invariably find if we look at it, yeah, and how we look at it to begin with is an inventory process. We're going to invariably find if we look at that, there was decisions based on self that later placed us in the position to be hurt. So this is basically the whole diagnosis of where you find yourself. You were brought to where you find yourself through faith in self. Yes. The suggestions and the directions self gave you, you followed religiously, and it put you in these situations that you felt misfortune and you didn't feel like you deserved it because someone must have done it to me or whatever. Yes, and it just goes on and on and on. It's good to know, really. So, Because when you recognize it, starting its little gyrations, you can bring that to step 6 and 7. So we'll get to that in a minute. But so this idea of becoming accountable in the fourth column for your role in things. And I humbly believe if you stay in the program and you look at the fourth column of the inventory, you're going to see something else's role in things. Yeah. And I think that something else is what we call self. And you're going to see a much greater role of self in your life than you, actually, because you have been driven and directed and propelled by self. And the faith in self has brought us to the conditions we find ourselves in. This is the diagnosis of the book. Yeah, big book, really. Yeah. And it says perhaps there's a bay, trusting something other than self, and that's the infinite. Yeah. So first you have to tell the truth about trust in finite self or faith in finite self. And where that faith is being directed from is the head. Yeah. The problem resides in the mind. Yeah. It usually stamps out its messages to us through thought. Yeah. And interpretation. So, okay, here. So we did the fourth step and the fifth step, and we're going to go home, take an hour to go over the first 5 steps in the program, see if we feel like we've done the best we could. If we have, we're going to look at step 6. And first it says, to take away the shitty stuff, but then it says basically have all of us. Yeah. And so therefore we're a mixture, obviously. Yeah. So in this point, he goes, what was it, page 74? Yeah. I think so, whatever. We go home for that hour, we take a look at it, and then we go into the sixth and the seventh. And we ask this power once again. This is not a reliance on self. It's a higher power reliance that we're going to ask that power to do once again for us what we can't do for ourselves, and let it make the decision what's useful and what isn't. Yes, and then basically to do the primary agenda, which is to be available to others and to try to practice these principles in all our affairs. You can't do that for a while, you limit your affairs. Yeah. This is why you have a sponsor and stuff. So you can share your great ideas with them and see how great they may be. Yeah. Before you do anything. So yeah. What page were we on again, Kathy?
Started on 75.
Oh, 75. All right. So let me finish reading that. Oh, we end at 75.
No, ended at 76
Oh, 76.
after step 7.
Oh, it's the returning home.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to read it. Returning home, we find a place where we can be quiet for an hour. This is just how you do it. This is what they suggest you to do. What we have done, we thank God from the bottom of our heart. Just thank whatever you feel is greater than self. Yes? You don't have to have a name. Yeah. The saying thanks isn't to that power, it's for you, really. It's to ingratiate some gratitude in a fucking vindictive, self-centered condition. Yeah. Yeah. Returning home, we find a place yet. We thank God from the bottom of our heart that we know him better. Yeah. By knowing what you're not better, you know the exact that correlates to knowing the higher power better. Yeah. When you know what you're not better, there's going to be a knowing of the higher power better. Yeah. We thank God from the bottom of our heart that we know him better. Taking this book down from our shelf, we turn to the page which contains the 12 steps. Carefully reading the first 5 proposals, we ask if we have omitted anything, for we are built. We're building an arch through which we shall walk a free man. You remember the arch of freedom If you ever heard Joe and Charlie, they go over it quite a lot. And so the keystone of the arch is this the reliance on something greater than oneself. Yeah. Yeah. For we are building an arch through which we shall walk a free man or woman at last. In our work, is our work solid so far? Are the stones properly in place? Have we skimped on the cement and put into the foundation? Have we tried to make mortal? You're just checking out. If you can just say, I'm doing the best I can, yes, and I'm willing to, continue to be directed. If we can answer to our satisfaction, we then look at step 6. We have emphasized willingness as being indispensable. And we now ready to let God remove from us all the things which we have admitted are objectionable? And you just answer these questions, yes? It's like a yes or no. Can he now take them all, every one? If we still cling to something, we will not let go. We ask God to help us be willing. Yeah. When ready, we say something like this: My Creator, I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. Well, that's different than the last sentence, couple sentences. It just says basically all of you. I am now willing that you should have all of me, good and bad. I pray that you now remove from me every single defect of character which stands in the way of my usefulness to you and my fellows. Grant me strength as I go out from here to do your bidding. Amen. We have then completed step 7. So it has the same spirit throughout the thing, like being placed in a position of neutrality with no thought or effort on your part. It's constantly the effects you may wish you're not going to produce. Yes. But if you follow the suggestions of this of this program, those effects that you wish may be produced. Yes. But you're not going to be the producer of them. You're going to be the expression of them. And the idea of being employed, which means to be used, yes. And basically, we've been used by self quite a lot, and now we're being used by a higher power. Yeah. We're going to be used no matter what. But how it's going to go for what's being used is usually based on what's using you. Yeah. And we've had enough, I would say, of self using us to fulfill its own ends, and its ends justify all the means that it uses. Yeah. And we have switched now through this process and a little willingness to rely on the higher power as our new employer. And as you can tell, as Jesus said, supposedly, a good tree cannot bring forth bad fruit, and a good tree cannot bring forth bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot bring forth good fruit. You'll know the tree by the fruit. So the program works by its working. It's just that simple. I mean, if you had a difficult time staying sober for an hour and now you're sober 37 years, I would say something is fucking working. Yes? Just a simple fact that you would have constant choices of either going left and right, and now you just go straight, basically. Now, it's not because you became a great driven, it's you've changed drivers. Yeah, you're being driven by something other than you were driven by before. Yeah. And obviously, the marching off orders that you received from that which drove you before was from the head. Yes. The thoughts, the opinions, the memories, the this, the that. Yeah. That's what drove us. Now, they're talking about in that one paragraph, they mention the word feel like 3 or 4 times. Now you're being moved by something. Yes? And this, you don't think it, you feel it. Yeah. You feel a new power flow in. It doesn't say you think a new power flow in. You feel a new presence. It doesn't say you think about a presence. Yeah. It becomes much more tactile in your life. Yeah. And much more intimate, obviously. Yes. Much more intimate. You could describe something with thought on a page, but actually doing it would be much more intimate. Yes. Well, here, this is what happens. You get a sense of presence. And you know what? That sense of presence is always present. Now, if it was based on if you put any attention on it, it wouldn't be. But the fact is, the great relief is that it is always present. You may not be, but it is always present. And what the program does is it allows you to live closer to the vicinity of present. Yes, instead of being lost in the past and future. That's what it does. Yeah. And here we are being driven by a power greater than self. That's the condition we would like to find ourselves in and stay in. Yeah. And the idea in recovery is just you don't, it's not stop drinking, you don't start. That's all. It's over for today. Yeah. You may have tons of problems come in and out, but that problem doesn't show up anymore. And it's not like a weather front hanging over you. Yeah. Yeah. You got clear skies above. Yes. Yes. So the thing that we're interested in greatly is to be clear of what the exact nature of the wrong is. Because if you're not, you may end up hating, thinking you hate yourself. Yeah. As if there's two of you in there and the one you hates the other you. That is not true. Yeah. Yeah. I would say there's none of you, but let's say there's not two of you. Yeah. Yeah. There's not. Yeah. So if there's some hate going on and you feel like you're the one that's being hated, you are not the one that's hating. There's not. Yes, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. So if you can feel like you're the one being hated, you're not the one that's hating. Now, this disease talks to you and tells you you don't have a disease. That's what it does. It tells you who's the last one to know that they're an alcoholic? Usually the alcoholic. Isn't that insane? I mean, if I was bleeding out of my rectum, I would probably know. It would be a drag if I was the last one to know. Yes, it would mean this is a living, fucking, talking problem that's bleeding out of my rectum. And it's telling me there's no bleeding going on through my rectum. That's insane. Yeah. So you may be out to lunch, but we're not all out to lunch. Yeah. And there is a solution. Yeah, there is. We found it through this methodology, the program of recovery, the 12 steps. Yeah. We'd have another banner if we had found ourselves relieved of this bondage through another method, but I haven't. This is how it worked. Yes. Now, a lot of things I've met in the years of being sober have facilitated a lot of illumination, but what extended the miracle of sobriety has been the program of recovery and the principles. Yes? Yes. Like they say, you do the steps, and then the steps do you, and then you become that which you've been doing, so to speak. Yes? Yes. And now you're in the habit of being sober every day. It's pretty good. Before I was in the habit of thinking a lot. I'm not in that habit anymore. Yeah. So, so 6 and 7. Now, in my experience, I've been in a lull now, but for a long period of time, 6 and 7 was the most active working steps. Yeah. Because what was happening, there were revelations, like it says in A Vision for Us, that this power is going to constantly reveal to us. I had a lot of revelations about what I'm not, yeah, about alcoholism and shit. And when I would see like a line of thought and recognize it was a pattern that I had seen many, 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 many times, I would bring that to step 6 and 7. Yeah. I would feel like it was getting ready to set up a resentment towards this person. Da, da, da. I'd catch it out of the oven and I'd bring it over to 6 and 7 and I would follow the format that they presented. I would say, hey, I'm entirely ready right now. Yeah. To have this reconfigured. I don't believe you can remove energy, but you can reconfigure it. Yeah. So I say, I'm entirely ready to have this reconfigured, and I ask this power to do so. Yes. Yes. And when I called that power, I remember that no human power could get me sober, but I was struck sober by this power. Yeah. So there's a great faith in this power that I'm bringing the shit I'm recognizing in my head to. And that was a lot of 6 and 7. Yeah. Or if I'm at a meeting and someone's talking about alcoholism and I get a twinge of that little aspect of alcoholism, I immediately bring that to 6 and 7. I say, hey, I'm entirely ready to have this shit right here reconfigured. So you can do it at a meeting, you can do it anywhere. So lately, I haven't been going there anymore for a while. But for a while there, the most active steps in the program was 6 and 7. Yeah. So I believe it's our recycling bin. Yeah. So when you see the shit formulating in you before it's, does a projectile vomiting out of you, and then you got to go back to 8 and 9 and go to it, you just bring it to 6 and 7, and it actually skips 8 and 9. Yeah. You don't need to write about it, and you didn't do anything that you need to make an amend for. So it basically 6 and 7 is sort of a detour around 8 and 9. Not bad, literally. Even the steps become less in a way. There's no need for 12 anymore. Yeah, if you do step 6 and 7, you don't go to 8 and 9. Yeah, you just don't. So that was the main. I feel it only gets a paragraph or two, but this is the formal like event, and then the action of it is when you notice the shit. Yes. Yeah. And it's incredible because when did you used to notice the shit? After it took a big shit. Now you see it. Yeah. Before, and instead of following its direction, you bring it to 6 and 7. Yes. And the return is going to be incredible. It is, because that old idea, the way it was formulated and like calcified or petrified, will be given life, and then it will flow, and it'll actually probably bring about an enrichment in your day instead of a possibility of enslavement in your day. Yeah. That's how profound it can be. You've got a whole lot of water that still may be frozen, and 6 and 7 is given those ice cubes, and then the water goes back to that nature of movement. Yeah. And as it says, you will feel a new power flow in. Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. Thank you. Great reading. 6 and 7. Again, these are working steps. They're not. When you get married, it's not just a ceremony, right? There's a ceremony that you get married, but now there's a lot of marrying, whatever that means. Yeah. So this 6 and 7 is in this format. There's the formal declaration, but it actually is an action quite a lot. Yeah. And it's a lot of revelation because, like it says, unless you let go of your old ideas, and one way you can do that is recognizing them and bringing them to 6 and 7. But unless you don't, if you don't let go of your old ideas, the results are going to be nil, which is insane. Eh? So how are you going to, you'll see the old ideas because you're present. And then you can see, hey, I've seen these many times. And then bring it. Yeah. Bring it to 6 and 7. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll open it up. Thank you, Kathy. You're yeah,
Thank
very important action because uh, when you're out of the ass yourself, a lot of the furniture up that ass can be removed, and so when next time you go up the ass yourself, it's not as familiar to the self. Yes. You want to sell some of its prized old ideas and patterns and beliefs while you're out of it. So yeah.
Doesn't look so much like home anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. You make what's making you uncomfortable uncomfortable. You make the parasite uncomfortable, and that parasite's been making you fucking uncomfortable. Now, with the program and the change of the direction of attention, is making the parasite very uncomfortable. Yeah. Yes. That's awesome. It's made us, what was it? Irritable, restless, and discontent. How much shit has happened through its direction? I mean, unbelievable. Yeah, it's about time it gets some of its old medicine. I thought I had a big armoire up that ass itself. It's gone. And all my bags are packed. What? Yeah. I'm getting a subtle hint I'm getting kicked out.
Where's an easy chair I used to sit in?
That's gone. You don't have
Right.
2,000 channels on K-Paul anymore. And there's windows. Wow. I hadn't seen out of that ass in quite a while. Yeah. It's
And you
actually what
can,
happens when you go up the SSL again, let's say after an event of service. Yes, it's powerful because the familiarity doesn't seem so familiar anymore. Yes? Yeah, where you thought you used to rest, you see is like one of those cheap massage beds in a lousy motel. You put a quarter in it, it just shakes you. You start questioning, you start questioning the nest. Yes, it's great. It's fantastic. 6 and 7 has a lot to do with that, big time. Yes, really.
one of the things that really helped me when I first started coming here was when you talked about, that we were going to consider some of its manifestations.
Yes,
It means self, not me. And then I realized that when I got to step 7, it didn't say my defects of character, because I love how you know, explained that word my and how it makes things so powerful in my life, and it doesn't say my defects of character, it says the defects of character that stand in the way. So, like defects of character from self
yes,
that get in the way,
yes,
that, that are common to all mankind. They're not just my personal failings. I mean,
yes,
I don't have to beat myself up so much about it.
yes.
Yeah.
That's a good understanding. Yes, that's the first lap of understanding it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Yes.
you.
If uh especially if that which is talking to you is not you and you realize its limitations, like it has a parasitical nature, you're not going to constantly try, buy it like like an animal vest and get it a new leash because it's walking you. You're not walking the parasite. The parasite has you. Yeah. And the thing is, uh, a thing with a parasitical nature, it's just like that story about the lady who sees that snake and it's hurt and she picks it up, puts it into a shoebox, feeds it with little eye thing, yes, and you know, brings it back to health, and then the snake bites her, and so she's like really confused. I've been so nice to this snake, and she asked him, "Why did you bite me?" And the answer was, "I'm a snake." You have to realize that about this disease, if you want to call it that. You have to know its nature. Yes? Its nature it's not going to come along in the kumbaya line. It has a different way of looking at the opportunity that we offer. Yeah? It wants to have a say. It wants to act out. It has a drive and it needs you for to be transportation. It can't pick up anything. It can't pick up a bottle, but you can. Yeah? It can't. It can't, call up and order, service, bring something home. It has to go, it needs you. And it basically works very hard at convincing you that it's you. Yeah. So that you will not have any other thing to listen to but it. Yeah. Yes. So, like when they used to say, I'm going to go home and think about it, when newcomers, that's the last thing you want them to do because that's the last fucking thing you want them to do is go home and think about it. No, because what's going to think about it ain't them. It ain't. It's not them. And so we're firmly trying to galvanize this because I believe it's the root of all the problems. Yeah, is this bondage of self. And the host is crippled not by the parasite, but that it takes itself to be the parasite. Yeah. And what happens is the higher power in the program frees us from that bondage. Yeah. And lets us find find out about us by knowing self. Yeah. And knowing self is foreign to us, I feel. Yeah. So many of us haven't met us in a long time, a long, long time. And the AA program will allow whatever time you need to grow and get to know us. It gives you all the all the support you can possibly wish for. Yes. You can go anywhere in the world and probably find a meeting. Yeah. We have 600 meetings a week in San Francisco. What church has 600 meetings a week? Yeah. Most people's lives in AA are completely grown out of AA. They the person they married, AA, blah, 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 on and on, on and on. It has given so much to so many, literally. Yeah. And what it wants us to do is just be available to ourselves and others and to practice these principles in our affairs as best we can. Yeah. So
We do have a couple hands up.
great, great.
All right, Bridget, you want to come in? Let me.
Hi, friends. Very grateful to be here. Paul, thank you so much. And thank you so much, Kathy, for your service and everybody that's doing service here. I do enjoy hearing about self as a parasite and me as as a host. Most of the time, late in the past few months in my own journey, Spirit has helped me and recognize that similar to what you said, Paul, that I get to be a channel. I have no choice.
Yes.
Either channeling source that is more, that has all power, or I'm channeling the ego. And when you were talking, when you were emphasizing that the passages we read were talking about, I get to feel a new power, and it's all about nearness to source or absolute power ensures that I stay in the feeling, that I don't think about it. It made me think about how the 11th step talks about the importance of prayer and meditation, and how that is like depriving um oxygen to the body. And when you expressing it, it does make sense that my ego doesn't, sorry, not mine, the parasite doesn't want me to breathe. The parasite doesn't want me to have that oxygen, because when I do have that oxygen, and I do have more access to my feelings, and I'm more aware that I'm not it. I think for me that gave me a deeper appreciation, not just for 6 and 7, but also 10 and 11. So thank you.
Great. Yes, great.
Hey, Rico's got his hand up. Or did you want to say something?
No.
Oh, okay. Let me ask to unmute here.
Thank you, Kathy, for your loving service. Good evening, family and friends. Thank you for allowing me to be here in your presence. I send you love and life from my heart to yours. Great to be here. Paul, I had tingles. Don't get the wrong idea. All while you were talking about 6 and 7, because 6 and 7 have been my favorite and most powerful steps, because I came here no God baby. So I wasn't open to the God idea all the way from 1 to 5. 6 and 7 broke me wide open like a Georgia peach. I mean, just something happened and just everything just shh, something happened. I can't tell you what happened. What I can tell you is something happened. And from that point to this, things started happening. And what the 12 steps did for me, talking about getting to know yourself, the 12 steps introduced me to who I was not. They say it's better to be hated for who you are than it is to be loved for who you are not. And the first half of my life was all about who I was not. Now, on the outside, it looked like this is who I was, but slowly, after 6 and 7, I started finding out who I was not. And now I'm slowly getting introduced to who I am. The I am that I am, getting to that. And it's been quite a journey. And I really want to thank you for bringing up 6 and 7, because not many people really talk about 11, 10, 1, 2, 4, 5. But you don't find that many people who can talk about the power of 6 and 7. Even when I do 10, whatever I find, I go back to 6 and 7. And it works. I really appreciate you highlighting that. And I got to take an extra minute to find my heartthrob here, Miss Mickey, the Queen, because I miss her when I see her. My heart starts palpitating. I love you, Mickey. I don't care what they say about you. I love you. And it's good to see you, baby girl. Thank you, Paul and Kathy. Thank you for your love and service.
Thank you. And great to see Mickey. Yes. Well, I feel 6 and 7 is the alchemy of recovery. Yeah. So there was a dream. You would take one thing and then have something happen to it and it would turn into something else. And that's what 6 and 7 is. It takes sort of like frozen water and heats it up so it flows. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the feeling of a new power flowing and all that stuff. All of the presence is not dull. It's an activity. Yeah. It's a sense of onness, as you said, the I am that I am. Uh, yeah, and like in this paragraph, they said feeling like 3 or 4 times. You're gonna feel this, you're gonna feel that. Yeah, that sounds like we're being thawed out in a way. Yes? Yes. So this is a process, and then it ain't a process after a while. Yeah. Uh, like you don't have to, like when you write something and then you have to color it in because it's fading. Yeah. That's like in the beginning. Yeah. A lot. And then after a while, it's like a tattoo. you don't do shit. Yeah, yeah, it has sunk in. Yeah, and it has become us. Yeah. And now, just like we could tell alcoholics and addicts, we can tell a recovered alcoholic and a recovered addict. It shows. Yes, it's because that's what we're more of us as that now, as being recovered and stuff. Yeah, or in recovery, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so it's the us is getting much more recognized by seeing what we're not. Yes, for sure. You can't do it any other way. If the mistake is that it's a mistaken identity, you can't keep starting to correct that from the mistaken identity. You have to see it's a mistaken identity. Self can't get out of self. And I humbly believe the head that finds itself does not believe that. It believes it can get out of self. It does. It actually believes that it is foreign to its own nature. It does. Is it true? No, it ain't. And therefore, it will constantly keep trying to get out of self as self. Now, yeah, that which is trying to get out of self may be called Paul, but it's actually Paul is trying to get out of self as self. Yes, because Paul is not Paul. That's not the Paul of us, it's the Paul of self. Yes, yes. So that's a fact. Self can't get out of self. The head will never get that fact. I don't believe. It hasn't, I haven't seen it really. So I believe that what we're dealing with is a program, not a living, growing occupation. It's a programmed, yeah. And we all share the same language. It may be a different French or English, but alcoholism talks the same way through every different language. And a lot of times when you meet people, you're just talking to alcoholism. Yeah. You're not hearing from the person. I mean, they're a completely different person, but I've heard the same fucking thing thousands of times coming out of seemingly different mouths, but the same thing coming out of all these different mouths. Yes. Oh, it's incredible. So, yeah, we have a great shelter and a refuge here. You can come here, chill out. We don't get that carried away. We keep going back to the exact nature of the wrong and the underlying causes and conditions. Yeah. And we just pronounce it more with the hopes that it, through repetition, it'll grab hold of you. And you won't have to, you'll keep those glasses on for a while and you're going to see things differently. And hopefully it will make you of better use to yourself and others. Yes? Yeah. Yeah. Who better to talk about the occupation of self than someone who's freed from that occupation of self? What better news can be presented? I don't want to hear the news of what it's like occupied by self constantly because I've known that already. It's nice to hear it from not the occupying. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, all right, great. Anyone else?
I don't see any hands. Anybody want to come in?
Well, we can have a long, drawn out goodbye today. Yeah. Just
Wasn't that a shoot 'em up movie?
Just
A long
remember,
goodbye.
in a case, the fourth step reveals stuff to us when especially when it's shared with another and the power. So it's always a trinity. And stuff starts getting revealed to you. And that stuff that gets revealed to you, a lot of it is for the recycling bin of 6 and 7. That's why 6 and 7 is right after 4 and 5. Yes. Yes. Before you're going to improve your conscious contact from step 10, you got to get rid of the garbage. You got to do the recycling. Yes. Yeah. Or they would have had 10, 11, and 12 there. Yeah, it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, and 12. And another emphasis, the emphasis of 10 or 11 is to improve one's conscious contact. It just suggests prayer and meditation as a way of having that occur. But the goal is to improve one's conscious contact. The goal isn't to be a meditation professional and a prayer. Yes? It's the improving of the conscious contact is the target. Now, knowing that that target can appear in many, many ways than that target, yes? That it's not just through prayer and meditation. It can be through every fucking thing you do today, yes? The doing of something, not being the doer, is improving your conscious contact. The doing of something under the banner that you're the doer is not improving your conscious contact. It's improving your self-contact. Yes? Yes. So, yeah, prayer and meditation, there's a lot of things, like gazing is a way. Yeah. Listening to chimes, whatever. It's going to come up with zillions of ways that you can improve the conscious contact. Like it says, you'll become like center conscious instead of self-conscious. Yeah. Yeah. Most of us are self-conscious. So we're really unconscious to the fact that we're self-conscious. It's a simple correction. It really is. You lose interest in self and then you're centered conscious. Yeah. Yeah. Now, instead of feeling the old you, you feel the new power flow in. Yeah. Feeling like no one's listening to me, I can't get anything done. You'll feel that you have an incredible amount of power. All right. Well, thank you so much, everyone.
There are a couple more hands up.
Okay, all right. Bring them
The
in.
latecomers. James
Yeah, honey.
Lebowski.
Why don't you go? Yeah, just have a great one.
Just
Love
quickly,
you, my
'cause I
life.
won't be able to leave as quickly as he wanted to, so I figured I'd come in real quick. I have really nothing to add except to validate really my experience with what Rico was saying. I suffered up until the age of 48, and then did the fourth step exercise, and then something happened. When I saw
Hey, honey, yeah, disabled out. Thank you.
when I saw in that fourth column, the that I wasn't a victim, that I've been the perp all along. Didn't matter who any of the other players were, the outcome would have been the same because of how I was being in that. And that was like a whoa, it was a revelation. And I don't know, it's hard to say what happened in any kind of like descriptive detail, but God showed up is how my sponsor likes to put it. But left with that information that I was involved in all these outcomes. I wasn't a victim like I thought for 48 years, and the suffering of that, of living under the yoke of that delusion disappeared. It was the thing is, okay, what am I going to do with that information now? And that's when Paul came in like a white knight, and started saying, hey, what you do with this information is realize what you're not. And by doing that, you can start learning about what you are. And that was simple enough to where, it was like a kicked in the head by a horse type of thing. It was simple enough for me to take in and dispel all the other stuff. God knows I would have gone on some search for truth after that, and I was able to be free of all that and
Hmm.
like Paul says, walk a little lighter, which is good enough for me. Anyway, thanks, Paul, forever for that. So,
Well, thank you, Mr. Lebowski. Yes. It's been a privilege and a joy to hang out with all of you. Yes. Yes, we have someone else, I think.
Well, John B., you had your hand up. Did you want to come in?
Yeah, hi Paul. I'll just be you reminded me of something that happened in a meeting once. I was in this meeting and the plastic chairs people putting out obviously coming to the end of their lifespan. And one woman went down on the chair one week, and then the next week someone went down on another chair. And it's like, before that, I had a lot of faith in the chairs. And then as the weeks of the AA meeting went on, the faith of the chairs went right down. It was like the chairs must have lasted 25 years and it was coming to the end, and just like one person went down, and the next week another person went down. And I'm quite a big guy. And then I went back for the third week. And on the before anyone had fallen over, I had a lot of faith. I had so much faith in the chairs, I didn't even think about the chairs. I had so much faith in the chairs. The chairs had never come into how good they were, never come into my head. By the third week, I was sitting my ass like really slowly, squatting onto the chair. So was everybody else. Everyone was just slowly sitting down on the chair, seeing who's going to go next week. Yeah, and it was just like that sort of faith is like it's a good metaphor for like faith in the higher power. It's like yeah, lost faith in these chairs in the meeting as the weeks went on. Yeah, so that's just something you said I can't remember reminded me of that. But yeah, there we go.
And then what happens is uh, it takes like 20 chairs breaking to finally realize you need to get new chairs.
Yeah, the church needs yeah. It's just they just piling them up at the side of
What
the
the
thing.
program does, it brings you to recognizing the one chair broken looks just like all the other chairs,
Yeah,
even
they
though
were
don't forget,
identical. Yeah,
you get new
yeah. That
chairs.
chair looked. It might
Yeah,
have been a different person. It might be a
exactly.
different person with the chairs, but the broken chair looked like the broken chair.
Exactly.
25 years old, red plastic with the black, yeah, with the black legs. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly. And so there's a much quicker moving. You don't have to go
yeah.
through the 20 chairs breaking. You realize they're all going to break after the first one breaks because it's
Mm,
unreliable. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the beauty of it. Yeah.
yeah,
That's that thing about, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So that's the chairs told you they were kaput. You got to listen to
yeah.
it. But we can't afford chairs. Well, can you afford the chiropractor? When your ass is cracked. Yeah. I have a little story. It seems stupid, but it was very cool for me. So when I got sober, I didn't know what to do with myself, obviously. And so I was going to I used to do massage, but I needed to get a license to do it again. Yeah. So I was going to massage school in this place called San Anselmo, California. And one day, and there was all different sizes of us at this massage school. Not that many, like 10, 12 people or something, maybe 14. And we were in this beautiful old white wooden, like school room. And it was super hot. and I had to work on someone who was very big. And I was working on them, and it was boiling. And then I looked in this little alcove, and there were all these fans. Yeah. All these fans. But did you think I decided to stop and say, hey, can we get one of those fans? My head was just ready. Oh, fuck it. Just keep sweating and everything. But I was sober now. And I said, wait. I raised my hand. And I said, hey, there's like 8 fans over there. Can we start using the fans? And we got the fans, and everyone was much cooler. Yeah. But the way my head saw the fans, well, no, gotta keep yeah. Yes. It's how weird. It's like when I went to Delancey Street, it was a very strange place. It had a lot to do with the court system, and a lot they would give this as a choice to prisoners that they could go to Delancey Street and avoid prison. But a lot of them would rather go to prison than to this place, Delancey Street, because they were familiar with prison life. Yeah. They had an identity of it, and they didn't want to change. That they were frozen. And the other thing, Delancey Street, there was a fear that they would be changed. Yeah. So you can see the head is a very yeah. It doesn't have your best interests at heart. It really doesn't. It has its own interests at heart. Yeah. And you will know by the fruit by its tree, the tree by its fruit. You've had enough of the self's fruit, I'd imagine. Yes? Why do you want to keep sitting under it? You're going to get the same fruit. So all it needs is a little willingness. Yes, that's all. And then the momentum will get behind you and move you. Yeah. Who could have imagined if it was an act? If I had to do the act of being sober for 36 years, it would have been no way. Yeah. This is not an act. Yeah. You're propelled. You're moved. Yeah. Yeah. And I believe recovery progresses, and I think it progresses at a much higher speed than the disease progresses. Yes, it has much more of a light quality than the disease has. Yeah, yeah. So, all right, thanks. Let's see, Rico again. Rico, come on in. We'll end up with Rico today.
And all
No,
right,
we won't.
Jill had her
Jai
hand
had
up.
a hand up, and she put it down. And I know my mother always told me, follow your first thought, Jai.
She, oh, wait, here. Did you want
I
to come
just
in?
want to say thank you so much. Um, everybody, it was great to see some old faces, old friends here. Um, I was thinking about how when you talk about things not fitting anymore, right? Just like how amazing it is. It's almost like grace, or it feels like this feeling to see something, like even a belief system that's faulty, that doesn't fit, that's erroneous, that's been carried along from somewhere that I didn't even know I was carrying. Just to see those things now and sit with it and think, oh my God, this isn't even true. I didn't believe this. Where did that come from? Just those little subtle things, because now, like you said, the steps are organic. They're cellular, they're solar, so it's just I'm so grateful when I see my shit come up. I'm just like, oh wow, I don't need that. And I want to be as cleaned out as I can be. I want to be as much what you're talking about in the light, in big mind, whatever you were calling it, I don't remember, out of your ass, But yeah, so thank you. It's great to hear your spin on things. I really appreciate it. It makes me look deep.
Oh, great. Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone, today. Let's say, Kathy, as always, nice reading, hon. Also, we're here again at 4:30 Pacific time today. And then the next recovery thing is Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. Michael Stacy, our man behind the curtain. Mickey, I hope all is well. Yes. Remember, you're our eternal greeter. Yes. Yeah, you got a job. All right, Chris B. Nice to see you. Matthew, as always. Sober today, Matthew? Good. David, nice to see you there. Paul in the UK. Joseph in France. Mr. Lebowski. Vlad, nice to see you, Vlad.
Thank you, everybody.
Rick Rowe. Alex, John B, UK. Yeah, watch those chairs. Catherine, nice to see you. Liana, Miss Volkman. Yes, Jai, nice to see you in Asheville. Verena. Ah, Verena, nice to see you. Kerry, our man walking in Hawaii there. Rob in Austin, nice to see you, Rob. Hey, everyone, thank you so much. Remember that loving presence is expressing itself through our group conscience. Yes? Yes. Yes.
Thank you,
Satsang
Paul.
is like a communal grace shower. It's very nice. See you.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you
Yes.
for that recycling
Thank you,
machine, Paul. You
Paul.
put a new
Paul,
spin on
thanks,
it.
Kathy.
Thanks,
Kathy,
Thanks,
love
Kathy.
you.
Bye, Mickey. Good to see you.
Yeah, thank
Mickey!
you. Thanks, Catherine, for
Yeah.
kicking my butt into
Good
the
to
room.
see you,
Man.
Mickey.
Good to see you, Mickey. You're so fun.
You too, James.
The picture's not full unless Mickey's here.
You're so fun. You know.
Oh God, you
What's up, Jack?
Lebowski, what you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there.
I ain't seen you forever.
Yeah, man. How are you doing? You're in Austin now?
Yeah, I moved to Austin. It's awesome.
Nice. That sounds about right.
Yeah,
They let you in. They're like, we got.
it's a lot warmer than Kentucky, let me tell you.
I bet.
I'll be cool. Or is it I'll be Vegas? What's up, Al? Mr. Rick, Slick Rick, my man.
Slick Rick.
How are you?
I'm off to the salt mines, y'all.
All right, James.
See you
Have a good
later.
one.
Yeah, Lebowski.
Be careful.
Kathy, thank you for your love and service,
Thanks.
as always.
Appreciate you.
Love this. Love this setting. So good to see you, Mickey.
it's excellent seeing you too, Kath. Great job.
Excellent, I'd say. Excellent.
You bet.
But Mickey, when you come on, my heart just says, hello, darling.
You're a scoundrel.
Yeah.
Suave
Well-
Rico.
Are you in that storm, Kathy, back there in Cleveland?
Well, we've had cold, but not a lot of snow. It was just like last week, just frigid cold. The kids were out of school for 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they went back Thursday, and then Friday was just as cold as Tuesday or Wednesday, but they couldn't give them another day off.
Fucker, dude.
I hate it. I was over at my daughter's. I hated sending my grandson, he's 14, off to the bus stop when it was 7 below. I mean, that was not
Oh,
even the wind
man.
chill, that was the temperature. But, he survived.
I had to leave
It's
that cold
resilient.
alone.
Yeah, it's been cold. We're warming up. I think it's supposed to be like 30 on Friday.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, and then go back to like
Balmy.
14 for the high on Saturday. So, up and down. That's Cleveland. Up and down, up and down.
Well, and that's the atmosphere nowadays.
At the moment.
Yeah, you know, Paul was saying something about 600 meetings in San Francisco. You know, I live in Cleveland, and shoot, I think we've got thousands of meetings a week. You know, there's just that many. Hey, Rob, you're making noise.
He's busy,
I
busy,
muted.
busy.
Volkman,
I
Yes,
muted you,
cool.
Rob.
how are you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Next
Gotta go. I'll
to
see
the
you.
Go, Rick.
light, as Paul always says.
I'll see you later, Rick.
Is that a window
Yes.
next to
Yes,
you?
sir. I'll talk to you.
Oh,
Leanne,
you.
is that a window behind you?
What? No, that's a lamp.
A
This here's a
lamp.
lamp.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I
that's
always
not.
thought that
it
was the
just
sun.
shines so much. It looks like you're sitting next to a fire.
Yeah, I
Or
know, I
God
know.
or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, like this, you don't see the lamp now, and it is not
No.
so bright. It's actually for me a little bit dark in here, sometimes. But
It
here
looked
it
like
looks
the
so
lights
bright.
coming in into a room like this. And I thought maybe
Yeah,
from there you were running the world.
right.
Sorry.
Well, good to see everybody. I'm going to close the room now unless
All right. It's been fun, but I got to run.
somebody's got something they have to say.
That's
I just want to tell
okay.
Mickey one
You,
more time in case she
Thanks,
forgets. I
everybody.
love you.
I love you. I
Yes,
love you all.
Good to
love
see
you
you, Mick.
too.
Thanks for
All
appearing. I
right.
can make it through
Thank
the rest of the
you,
week now.
Kathy.
See y'all later.